Yes, people, Manscaped is back, but this time it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of radiant settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.
Yes, good morning, people. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a great weekend in the sunshine. Unbelievable weather. I've got to say, this August has been a treat and a delight over in the UK. And of course, if you're not in the UK, well, you've probably had a much better summer than we have, because let's be real, August is the only summer that we have had that has been anything but decent. Big up to everybody who's in the chat nice and early. Great to see you all. Please make sure you hit the like button and you hit subscribe if you have not done so already. Overnight, we've hit brilliant subscribers. We've got a great amount of likes on the last video. So please make sure we continue to do that on this one. Like and subscribe. This week, our panel debate shows are back. We've got the Race for Europe starting tonight at 8 p.m. All of the clubs that are racing for Europe will be represented throughout this season, every single Monday night at 8 p.m. Please make sure you do not miss that. Tomorrow night, the Arsenal Roundabout will be back, so we'll have all the Gooners in the house talking all things Arsenal. On Wednesday, it will be This Is London. All our London clubs will be back, and then we will go Thursday and Friday, looking towards the weekend for all of the other clubs that are in action. So please make sure that you do me a favour, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we are on all week. It's starting to hot up now as the Premier League season is back this weekend. We're going to talk all things transfers though this morning. We're going to talk about Kingsley Coman and how it looks like he is the one that Arsenal might be wanting. More on that very, very soon. Ivan Toney, interest in him. Where is he going? Lots of clubs could probably do with him, but whereabouts is he interested in going, and what clubs are interested in him? And more madness at Chelsea. I mean, what is happening overnight? That's why I'm taking a little bit of time today to actually get my head around what's been going on overnight, which is why we're a little bit later this morning, because it was an absolute madness overnight. So we're going to be talking about all things transfers. Morning to Mike, morning to Alex. Make sure you go follow Forder on Football. Simon, Emerson, Martin, Mum in the chat, Jack, Mad Flint, great name. XGN, Matt, P. White, Tony, Carol. Who else have we got? AFC Always, Josh, Suleiman, Tyrell, H, Cat in the chat. Hope you're well, darling. Gary, who else have we got? Fizzy, and Aaron, and everyone else that I haven't said hello to. Big up all of you. Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and we will get to it. We're going to talk about the madness overnight, first of all, because I could not believe what I was actually reading. I was watching Big Six. I see Matisse went live. Saeed went live after it. A few Chelsea fans went live after it. I think Don, Lewis. This is an absolute madness over at Chelsea. I don't know what is happening at the moment. Of course, we were talking about this guy. Omarodian looks like he was on his way to Chelsea. Now, it looked like it was all done. Nobody really knew who he was, to be fair. Let's be real. Nobody was really like, wow, what a signing. But the Atletico Madrid forward, Samu Omarodian, the deal has collapsed, which has threw the deals for both Conor Gallagher and Julian Alvarez in doubt. Now, it looks like both of these are probably still going to get done. So I don't want Chelsea or City to start panicking, because it does look like, according to Fabrizio Romano, that Conor Gallagher and Julian Alvarez are all set to leave and go over to Atletico Madrid. So I don't think that will be a problem. But Omarodian has definitely collapsed. Now, apparently there's contractual reasons as to why this has happened. It looks as if there's some form of contract talk that they were just not interested in agreeing to. So now they're not stopping there. It looks as if Conor Gallagher and Julian Alvarez moves, although have been thrown into doubt, are still going to happen. They have agreed a 34.5 million deal for the striker, but contract talks were not something that went well. So therefore, it has collapsed. Now, I know a lot of people will think, well, now everything will happen. It will be a domino effect, and Conor Gallagher won't get his move, and Julian Alvarez won't be sold by Manchester City to him. Listen, I don't believe that is going to happen. I don't believe that is to be the case. However, they're now looking, Atletico Madrid, at throwing somebody else in the deal for the Conor Gallagher situation, which looks like, yes, you've heard it right, João Felix. He's the guy that they are now looking to sign. And Chelsea know a lot about him. They've already had João Felix in their team. They've already know about him. I actually don't believe, personally, that João Felix is a bad player. I don't think he's ever settled since he's left Benfica. Atletico Madrid, he did well, looked a baller. Diego Simeone fell out with him. He came to Chelsea. I remember in his first debut, got sent off, but definitely looked sharp and definitely looked better than what they had up top. But let's just be real. He didn't have a good start there. He hasn't been good wherever he's gone. Barcelona, Chelsea, I honestly believe this could be a big risk. Big risk. So Chelsea are back interested in João Felix. It's absolute mad overnight to think that just because of one deal, there can be a domino effect from Omarodian to Conor Gallagher to Julian Alvarez and now back in for João Felix. It is absolutely crazy. So this is what's happening. I think Omarodian was probably stunned to think that Chelsea would want him. I think the guy's played about 35 games on loan. Is it Alaves? So I don't know why they wanted him anyway, but it doesn't look like it's happening. So maybe Chelsea would be happier with João Felix because for me, João Felix is the bigger name. So actually, this deal might work out better for Chelsea as it goes. I don't know why they're trying to get rid of Conor Gallagher and Trevor Chalobah. For me, they were two of their better players last season. Coman boys, you think they'd look after their own, but for whatever reason, they want to be getting rid of them and moving on from them. One player that has come in at Chelsea, though, that I'm very, very jealous of is, of course, Pedro Neto. Now, people will throw back, well, he's always injured. Yeah, it's a massive risk. £52 million, I think it is. It might even gone up to £54 million, actually. A definite risk for sure. A definite risk. But you know what? If they keep him fit, he's an absolute baller. Because when he does play, all he does is assist or create or score. And I think he's one of the best in the league. I really do. I think he's an absolute talent. I wanted him at Arsenal. Thought he would have been perfect to cover for Saka. Can play on both wings. Can definitely play in that kind of in behind the striker role as well. And we would have only needed him for 15, 20 games, which is what he's been giving Wolves for the last 3 seasons. Chelsea, however, will want to play him for every single game because he's better than Mudryk. He's better than Sterling. He's better than Madueke. And in my opinion, as a winger, he's probably the best one they've now got, along with Cole Palmer, who they believe is going to play more centrally. So Pedro Neto, they're going to need to play in every single game for that money. I don't think they're going to get him for that. So this is a really good signing for Chelsea. I actually think it's one of the better signings of the window. I must say that. And it's weird coming out of my mouth because I hate what Chelsea are doing. But Chelsea this week, right, have signed, just gone, have signed someone every single day. They've got about a 49-man squad now. This is absolutely madness. They've got so many players. It is crazy. And they're still buying kids, by the way. They've got a lad from Gremio for 16-year-old. They've got an 18-year-old goalkeeper, a 22-year-old goalkeeper. They've got another wide player that I've never heard of. And then they've got Pedro Neto in, obviously. They're looking to do some business. Conor Gallagher going out and Trevor Chalobah going out. It's just like, what is happening at Chelsea, man? It's absolute mad. They're the busiest team this window yet again. They just seem to just buy and buy and buy. And it's just a conveyor belt of youngsters. So listen, if they got Osimhen and Pedro Neto, I would say fair play. Chelsea have got a great chance to top 4. But at the moment, I just don't think they have, personally. Even with Pedro Neto. So let's see what happens. Let's move on from Chelsea, shall we? Because I don't want to give them too much attention. Let's talk about this guy, Ivan Toney. Now, it looks as if Ivan Toney is being looked at by the Saudi Pro League. Fabrizio Romano has suggested that Al Ahly are keen on the 28-year-old England international. And at the moment, Ivan Toney's got no interest from the Premier League, which is absolutely crazy to me. To think that for 100 million in January, he was being targeted. For half that now, nobody wants him. Why is that? I keep asking this question. Why do West Ham not go in for him and instead of Fulkrug? Why did they? Why did Tottenham go in for 65 million for Solanke instead of this guy? Why did they? Why are Liverpool, who I believe need a number 9, not looking at this guy? Why are Manchester City not trying to replace him with Julian Alvarez? Why are Chelsea going for Osimhen and not Ivan Toney? And why are Arsenal not just going and getting this one done? There is something wrong here. I don't know if it's his attitude, if it's his problems, if it's his background, if it's just that Arsenal are not interested and other teams are not interested. I can't believe that he could potentially go to Saudi and go and earn an absolute mint. That would be absolutely crazy. To me, he needs to stay in the Premier League, and I think he'd do an unbelievable job for a number of those clubs I've just mentioned. But nobody seems to want him. At the moment, the likelihood is that he'll end up just staying at Brentford. I'd be amazed if Brentford sell him to the Saudi League, unless, of course, they offer an unbelievable amount of money. Now, they might offer him wages unbelievable amount, but Are they going to go and offer like 60 or 70 million? Honestly, like real talk. I think he could go and do a job at most top 6 clubs in the Premier League. I really rate him that highly. I think he's a top talent. So let's see. As for the next rumour, we're going to move to Manchester United because Manchester United are doing a bit of a madness, to be fair. I don't mean a madness in a great way. I think this is all good signings. I think the business they're doing so far is pretty good. Bruno Fernandes looks like he's going to sign a new contract extension with Manchester United, which of course is a good thing. But this one looks like it's got done now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Oh, excuse me. So he's been linked with West Ham for God knows how long. And West Ham said they wanted to sign him on around about £15 million deal. And they couldn't really agree contract negotiations or buyout clauses with the club. Now, basically, Wan-Bissaka was saying, I want a payout at Man United. It looks like Manchester United have come to a compromise with the player and that he is on his way to West Ham. That one should get done. It's a good signing for West Ham. I will say that. It's a good signing for West Ham. He's perfect for him in terms of his one-on-one defending. It's just what West Ham teams of old have liked about a defender. I don't think he offers much else, though, I must say. I don't think he offers much more technically. I don't think he offers much going forward. But I think it's a good signing for West Ham. And I'm not going to lie. Honestly, West Ham have done some really good business. Like West Ham, I expect to be fighting for top 6. I really do. I think they'll be in the mix. Whether they will be, I don't know, finishing 8th, 9th, 7th, 6th, I think they'll be in and around 6th to 10th, 100%. I don't see them being in the bottom half. Now, when David Moyes left, everyone thought, oh, West Ham could really push on. But actually, people underappreciated or underrated what Moyes had done. Winning them a trophy for the first time in 43 years and getting them continuous European football for the last 3 years, I think for me, was something that was overlooked and underappreciated. But I think Lopetegui could have a great go at this now because Tim Steinton's come in and actually looked at the transfer window and have been allowed to go and bring the players in alongside Lopetegui. Whereas I think David Moyes, if you remember, in the last window was looking at players like Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire because they were typical David Moyes players. Whereas Tim Steinton's come in and said, we'll have Todibo, we'll have Kilman, we'll have Somerville, we'll look at Fulkrug up top. Now they've got Wan-Bissaka. Very, very good window for West Ham so far. In my opinion, that had the best window so far, in my opinion. But Manchester United, after selling Wan-Bissaka, look like they're getting the double deal for Mazraoui and, of course, De Ligt. Now, it looks as if the double deal is going to be potentially around 45 million for De Ligt and around about 15 to 20 for Mazraoui. So it looks like these two players are going to be at Manchester United for around about 50 to 60 million pounds, which, let's be real, is actually good business. Bayern Munich letting both of these guys go to Manchester United is two players that, again, Ten Hag knows. But is that good or bad? Because we've seen this before with Manchester United. We've seen Malacia come in. We've seen Lisandro Martinez come in. We've seen Toney come in. Hasn't always worked, has it? Is this going to work? Because soon it's going to be the old Ajax side. Because if you've got Onana in goal, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Malacia, that's your back line basically. In midfield, Toney is there. They were looking at another player as well in midfield. I can't remember who had Ajax links as well. No, can't remember. And then up top, Joshua Zirkzee is the Dutch striker they've gone for with Rasmus Højlund. But both of those are massive risks. So they've got 6 of the Ajax type team. They'll probably end up going for Frankie de Jong as well. You watch. Crazy to think that basically Ten Hag is going to be taking the old Ajax team from 2018 or whatever it was, 2017-18, and go from there. But anyway, let's see what happens. Maybe it'll work for Manchester United this time around because the new structure in place, I must say, is very good. I think Omar Morada, he knows what he's doing. Jason Wilcox is a football man, as is Dan Ashworth. They've got that other guy from recruitment as well. I can never remember his name. So they've got a completely new structure at Manchester United. So I expect there to be some movement that actually does make sense at Manchester United. So let's see what happens. One player who's staying is Ederson. Now, there was rumours that KDB and Ederson were both off to the Saudi Pro League. There was rumours this morning suggesting that both Mo Salah and KDB could still be interested in a move to the Saudi Pro League if there was an opportunity that arises. I just don't see that happening, if I'm honest. And it looks like now that KDB, Salah both staying. Ederson can be added to that list as well. He is apparently staying at Manchester City after being convinced by Pep Guardiola that this is the right club for him to stay at. Now, this is great news for Manchester City because for me, they've still got the best 2 goalkeepers in the league in terms of a number 1 and number 2 in Ederson and Ortega. And it looks like that's going to remain. I honestly believed if they would have lost KDB and Ederson, it might just have been a little bit too much for them. They've been pivotal to how they play football in the last 6-7 years. And if they were to lose those 2, wow, it would have been absolutely horrendous for the club, in my opinion, because they are 2 very, very vital players. So I think Ederson staying at Manchester City is great news for Man City fans. Probably bad news for the others, though, because he's a top goalkeeper and one of the best in the world. This could be interesting. Joachim Andersen used to be at Fulham, as we see pictured here. He's currently at Crystal Palace, but Fulham have bid £20 million for him. And it looks like Palace are open to allowing him to leave, which is crazy, because if they're losing Guehi to Newcastle, Anderson for 20 million to Fulham, Elise's gone to Bayern Munich, there's links with Mateta, there's links with Eze, and I'm sorry, but that's just gutting Palace. I mean, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Palace, real talk, could be in serious trouble if they get rid of all these players. Like, how are they going to replace them? Like, with a couple of weeks left? I really just do not understand it. I really do not understand it. Why would they do that? Why would they be in for letting the whole of their partnership go, which I think has been one of the best parts of Crystal Palace in the last few years, has been that they've got good defenders. They only have the right back who they've now finally got in to complete their back line. And now they've finally completed it. There's only Tyreek Mitchell and him that's staying. Joachim Andersen and Guehi are going. Who have they got left at the club? Rob Holding? It's poor, man. It's poor. Sticking with Palace, it doesn't look like Palace is going to be the club that Zaha returns to. Leicester are in talks with him at the moment with a loan with an obligation. And Galatasaray open to letting the player leave. There are links and reports as well that there could be Saudi links. But if he wants to stay in England, Leicester are the club that are interested. Now, that might be bad news for Arsenal and Reece Nelson. It looks like Leicester have looked to pull away from Reece Nelson. Arsenal are asking for too much money. So they're now moving on to their next target, which looks to be Wilf Zaha. So let's see if that does materialise. Let's talk about Ipswich Town, who I think have had a great window so far, bringing in players like Jacob Greaves, bringing in players like Liam Delap, looking at Omari Hutchinson. They've also got a couple of players. Ben Johnson is another one they've got in. They're also now looking at Sammy Smodocks, who, let's be real, brilliant for Colchester, brilliant for Blackburn. And can he step up to the Premier League? Well, Ipswich believe that he can. With Liam Delap already in the door, they're now trying to get Sammy Smodocks on board as well. Kieran McKenna is doing some really good things here. What he is doing is he is looking at who developed and who did light up the lower division leagues, and he's bringing them to the Prem together as a team to see what they can do. Now, what that means is individually they've got talent. Can he get them playing as a team? Well, if anyone can, it's Kieran McKenna, because how he got that Ipswich side from League One to the Premier League is phenomenal. If you actually do that with some top quality players that have already proven themselves at their previous clubs, Ipswich just might be able to stay up. This would be a fantastic signing. At the moment, there's around about £500,000 that they're off. They need to find another £500,000 from somewhere to get him from Blackburn. But I think he would be very interested in playing in the Premier League. And I've always rated him as a player. Can he take it to that next level? That could be very, very difficult, but we'll see. Let's move to the Arsenal news then, because for me, there is some Arsenal news that is breaking overnight. It looks now as if this is the winger that Arsenal are looking at going for. Now, this is something that does surprise me. It's something that I didn't see coming. If there was any winger that we were going to be linked with, I really thought it was going to be Leroy Sané. But it looks as if now it is going to be Kingsley Coman. Now, on AFC stuff, it says Kingsley Coman to Arsenal, discuss. Sky Sports are suggesting that Arsenal are plotting a shock move to sign the Bayern Munich winger Kingsley Coman on a season-long loan. The sources have told the Football Insider that they say Coman is keen on making the move this summer, but would seek assurances over his playing time. So this is going to happen because Saka and Martinelli and Trossard are already there. Is Kingsley Coman the right one to be trying to get out of Bayern Munich? Would people prefer Serge Gnabry or Leroy Sané? Don't get me wrong, I think all three of them are fantastic wingers, and I definitely believe one of them is going to go now that Elise has been brought in. But which one? I personally would rather have Leroy Sané. But is Kingsley Coman going to be cheaper? Probably. Is he going to want less wages than Leroy Sané? Probably. He's not a player I absolutely love, but he's certainly not one that I hate. He's a great player when he's fit, but he has injury problems, man. He does. I don't know what people's thoughts are on this. He definitely gets into the Arsenal squad and makes it better. There's no doubt in that. Without injuries, I think he's an excellent player. He's one I've rated. He's one I've liked. But let's be real. He needs to stay injury free, and he needs to stay fit. So let's see what happens here. Kingsley Coman could be a really good signing for Arsenal, and it's one at the moment that we're looking at. Now, there's definitely the right club to be looking at, because for me, they're full of wingers, right? They've just signed Elise. They've got Serge Gnabry still. They've still got Leroy Sané. They've still got Kingsley Coman. They've obviously got Musiala as well. He can play in those wide areas if need be. They've definitely got enough, right? What he would bring is not just a skill and technical ability. I'm not doubting he's got that. If he stays injury-free for a season, we've got a baller. But he brings experience, man. He's won it all. He's literally won it all in the game. So we need to look at players like that and think that's the sort of mentality that we need to be bringing in. So if we was to get a Leroy Sané and a Kingsley Coman, people would look at it and go, nah, I wouldn't want him. Much prefer Nico Williams. Much prefer, a youngster like Bakayoko or Yilmaz. Not for me. I'll be going to get the winner. Go and get the player that's definitely knows what he's doing, that knows how to get across the line. So let's see what happens there. That's the next rumour. It'll probably change tomorrow and we'll be linked with another winger. That's what usually happens. But at the moment, it's Kingsley Coman who is the guy that Arsenal are apparently looking at. So watch what happens here. I believe that there could be some legs in this one. I believe a winger from Bayern would be leaving. Which one's it going to be? Let's see what happens. Let's see. Let's see how interested we are. There are suggestions and reports that there are some problems with this deal. Now, I don't think it's not going to get done, so please don't worry. It's not something that I believe we have to be massively worried about. But the Daily Express are suggesting that Arsenal's pursuit of Mikel Merino appears to have hit an obstacle as Sociedad have made a last-ditch attempt to retain the midfielder. Now, I think there's definitely something happening here that's a little bit ski-whiff. Zubimendi, he's deciding what's happening, if he wants to go Liverpool or if he wants to stay at Sociedad. Sociedad have said they're open to selling both players. So it doesn't mean that because Zubimendi's going, they now want to keep Mikel Merino. They'd like to keep both players because they're good players, but they understand they want to move away. And if the money is correct, then both players will leave. Now, Zubimendi's got a release clause of 51 million. If Liverpool activate that, he will go. Unless, of course, Zubimendi doesn't want Liverpool, but it sounds like he's open to the move. Mikel Merino would like Arsenal, and we do not know what bid has been accepted. There has been bids that are being reported or rumoured from Fabrizio Romano, which suggested it could be up to 30 million euros. Some have suggested, however, that we've managed to get it for 17 million euros. Now, that's quite a big difference. That's nearly 50% less than what Romano has reported. Either way, I hope this one gets done, because you cannot be involved with this player for so long and for it not to get across the line. We need him. We're looking at midfielders. Partey and Jorginho are in the 6. Rice can play in the 6, but Rice is the only 8 at the club. Merino has to be added so that we allow to have 2 options there in the 8, because the other options in the 8 ain't good enough for me. I don't like Fabio Vieira there. I don't like Kai Havertz there. But for me, the only one who could potentially play there is, of course, if Ødegaard was to play there and Havertz was to go in the 10, or if we was to upgrade on Ethan Nwaneri. But for me, Mikel Merino is the guy. We have to go and get him. It sounds like it's an easier deal to get done because of the price, but this one has hit an obstacle. Now, I believe that obstacle may be the rumours that suggested a couple of days ago. There's this 5 million euros that is owed to Mikel Merino by Sociedad. Sociedad are trying to get Arsenal to pay that so they don't have to. And they're trying to say that he's now worth 5 million euros more because of that 5 million euros they owe him. If that's true, it's a little bit cheeky as far as Sociedad are concerned, because it's not actually, we're not paying for the player. We're paying for the debt that you have from your club for the player. So if that is actually true, that is madness. Absolute madness for me. I do not understand what is going on here. I am so sure that this one's getting done, but it does seem to take a long time. And for as long as this one's taking, it is starting to become a bit of an issue, because for me, there's a big worry that the longer this takes, the harder it might be to get done. And let's be real, more rushed, more panic times that we might have to, we could be spent on another player, trying to bring another player in. Because Merino doesn't happen, Arsenal still need a midfielder. So I think this will get done. There needs to be some form of compromise. There needs to be an agreement in place. and then we see what happens after that one. Chat, there's 500 people in here. I want you to do me a favor and hit the like button because we've only just hit 100 likes. So please make sure that we get that up to 200, please, people. All you got to do is hit the like button. All you got to do is hit subscribe. And it's done. It's free of charge. It doesn't cost you absolutely anything. So please make sure you do that. Please make sure you show Manscaped some love as well. Pinned in the comments is the link to 20% off of the Beard Hedger. If you want beard trimmings, then please make sure that you do go and get the beard trimmers called the Beard Hedger. Add it to your cart. 20% will come off using that link. So please make sure you do that if you want a birthday present for someone or you want beard trimmers for yourself. Let's talk about Eddie Nketiah, shall we? Because yet again, there is rumours that this one is still stalling. Marseille are interested. Eddie would like Marseille. Marseille have bid closer to 30 million euro. Oh, bless me. And it looks as if this deal... oh, my God, I'm sneezing everywhere. Could get done. But apparently the signing, of course, of Dominic Solanke from Spurs has allowed Bournemouth to become very interested in Eddie Nketiah. Now, that means that if they do, they've got £65 million to try and bargain with. Now, we're not going to get £65 million for Eddie Nketiah, but it certainly allows Bournemouth to go and spend some more money if they do want Eddie Nketiah. And it's saying that they are interested in Eddie replacing Dominic Solanke. And I have to say, I actually think this makes sense. I think this would be a really good signing for Eddie. I think this would be a really good move for Eddie. And I think it would be good for all parties. I think if Bournemouth are willing to pay £30 million out of the £65 million chunk they've got, I think we've got more chance of haggling and bartering with Bournemouth than we have with Marseille. Marseille clearly don't have the money to put him on 100k a week and pay 30 million euros. If Arsenal can get 30 million pounds off Bournemouth and Bournemouth are willing to put him on even 90 to 95k a week, which they can do because they've got money, I think this would be a good deal all round. So I would prefer to see him playing for Bournemouth. Stays in England, gives him a better chance of actually going in for the England international squad, which he has got in before, which people might laugh at. But let's be real. Who's he up against? Dominic Solanke and Calvert-Lewin are the other two, and Tammy Abraham. Let's be real. The England strikers have completely disappeared. I've said this for a while. I think the problem we've got is Eddie has got his kind of heart set on this move to Marseille. I think there needs to be a compromise for that to happen. And I think Marseille bidding closer towards 30 million, it's better, but it's still not be enough for Arsenal. We've seen Arsenal be ruthless this window already by saying, no, Reece Nelson's 25 million, and they've pulled out. People have said, can we have Ramsdale on loan? No, we want money for him. And people have pulled out. And now the same's happening with Eddie Nketiah. We'll give you 27 million, which is around 23, 24 million pounds. They said, no, we want nearer to 30 to 35. So they've been ruthless, which is great if it gets the deals done before the end of the window. We need these players to leave. The problem we've got is we kind of need them to leave soon so that we can get some players in afterwards. Because if we're interested in, let's say, Kingsley Coman or Leroy Sané or somebody like that as a winger, and we still want that striker in Victor Gyökeres or Osimhen, we kind of got to get Eddie and Reece Nelson out the door, because with Eddie and Reece Nelson leaving, it opens the pathway for two of those players to be replaced, which is, believe it or not, Coman. Let's say if we want Coman, he'd be replacing Reece Nelson, and then Eddie Nketiah will be replaced by Victor Gyökeres or by Victor Osimhen or somebody up top that we want. These two players have got to go. They really do. And I don't know how we're going to allow that to happen, because at the moment, it looks like it's slowing down. And Reece Nelson, there's not even any interest in him anymore. West Ham pulled out and went for Somerville. Leicester said it was too much money for a loan with an obligation because we wanted about 20 to 25 million. So now they've gone for someone else. So who is going to want Reece Nelson for that much money? We might have to lower it and accept that 15 million is about right. We might have to say to Eddie Nketiah, look, if we can get close to 25, we're going to have to sell you so that we can get these deals done, because the time is ticking. That's all I'm saying. So let's see what happens. Of course, when Edu was mentioned a couple of days ago, was it yesterday? Needs to be patient. We need more time. You'll be happy by the end of the window. Let's trust it. I've always said that. Wait until the end of the window and see where Arsenal are at. If we get to the end of the window and we've signed Calafiori and Marino, we can go, well, the Cronkies and Edu have messed up because we're short. We've still got Eddie and Reece Nelson here. Or we've sold Eddie and Reece Nelson and we ain't replaced them. If we get to the stage where the window shuts and Reece Nelson's gone and we have Leroy Sané or Kingsley Coman, and Eddie has gone and we have Victor Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres on top of Marino and Calafiori, we can say those four signings have been very successful and it's been a good window. But until that happens, at the moment, it ain't a good window at all. No one's happy with this window as an Arsenal fan. No one says, oh, do you know what? This is brilliant. Like, this is brilliant. So we've got to trust that something special's coming and that we're going to be okay. Someone that is going to have to wait and be patient, though, excuse me, is, of course, Tomiyasu. Mikel Arteta made it clear in his press conference that he faces further weeks on the sidelines as he recovers from a knee injury that has seen him miss the bulk of pre-season. Well, he hasn't missed the bulk of pre-season. He missed all of pre-season. So far, he hasn't kicked a ball. What is going on with Tomiyasu? I said on the show last night, he is made of biscuits. This guy is made of glass. This guy is a phenomenal talent when he is fit. Brilliant defending, one-on-one defending, aerial ability, strength, can play in an unbelievable amount of positions. So he's incredibly versatile. But he gets one more season for me. And if he can't stay fit, then Tommy might have to go because we need available players. I'm sick and tired of people saying, just give him this season, just give him this season. Players like Tomiyasu, players like Gabriel Jesus, players like Partey, players like Zinchenko. I love him, but players like Kieran Tierney, they've only got this season for me. And we have to move them on if they're not available because players like Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, 7 players there that are free and fit every single week. We need players like that, not the other 5 I've mentioned who are always injured or on the sidelines. So I'm going to not put Timber in that bracket because he had a real one-off bad injury, but the others, they've had niggles and niggles and niggles. Jesus gets this season to prove he's fit for me, otherwise we've got to sell him. Same with Tomiyasu, same with Zinchenko, same with Kieran Tierney, same with Tommy, all these Partey, all these guys that I've mentioned, they get this season and that's it. We have to get rid of them if they're not fit enough, and that's just the fact that I have to be brutal about that and say that they have to stay fit. Otherwise, there's no point having them at the club. That's the way I see it. Someone who's out from Arsenal is, of course, Norton Guffey. Now, I do not know how good this player was going to be, but it looks like Genoa have closed the deal to sign the Arsenal defender, Brooke Norton-Cuffy. Now, he was on loan at Millwall. He was on loan at Coventry season before that. He looked like he was going to be a promising defender as a right-back, but it looks like Arsenal are deciding to leave him and allow for him to part ways with the club. Now, according to Di Marzio, it's Genoa who are looking at around about 2.5 million that they're signing him for. So this is another player that's going out the door at Arsenal. I thought he was going to be a talent when I saw him as a youngster, but hasn't really blossomed into the right back that we all thought that he could potentially be. So definitely he is leaving now. We saw this guy yesterday, didn't we? Calafiori, a debut, come on for, what was it, about 20 minutes? Looked calm, looked composed, looked confident, looked like he played with the Arsenal team for a long time. Nothing outstanding or special, but I didn't expect that in the first 20 minutes in an Arsenal shirt. But watch this player, man, because he is going to be very, very important for Arsenal as a left back. Yes, he did play at left centre back for a bit, but he is definitely going to be our left back. Gabriel and Saliba, that partnership will not break up. And at right back, it will be Ben White. And I think Calafiori will be our left back. Now, I actually believe Zinchenko will start against Wolves as a left back, which I have concerns about because defensively he is poor. But against the Wolves side that does no longer have Pedro Neto, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Zinchenko playing there. Although I do remember last season against Wolves, he made an absolute howler where they scored a goal. Now, luckily, we won the game. I think it was 2-1 or 3-1. But still, he made mistakes. So we'll have to see what happens there. The third kit has come out. And yes, doesn't it look lovely? It is Patrick Vieira, somewhere very, very warm, wearing the third kit. Now, not sure about this one. My favourite away kit of recent times is the black and gold one of 2 seasons ago where we went for our first title race. I thought that was beautiful. And I don't know why we don't have a black and gold third kit again, because that for me is better. Turquoise, never been a huge fan of it. I quite liked the training top we had a couple of years ago, but for me, probably won't get this one. I love the badge though. I love the Adidas badge. It's the old school Adidas badge, one we haven't seen for a very long time. So this one is now out and available for Arsenal fans to buy. The away kit, we always saw that launched around about a month ago. Looks like Links Africa. I think it's got the links to Africa as well as the Links Africa. It's got links to Africa. Look at that. It rhymes. So that one is now out, of course, the black with the green and red. And then, of course, we have the home kit that has been launched, which I actually have grown to really like. I weren't sure about the blue and white to start with on it, but actually it does suit Arsenal and it does look quite nice. So I've got that one with Declan Rice on the back. This one's now available to sign. Very strange that Patrick Vieira is the one there. I know sometimes they bring old players back. Did not expect to see him. I believe that he's now lost his job at Strasbourg, so he's definitely available again. Maybe he would be someone that we could bring in behind the backroom staff, but I think actually he probably wants to stay as manager. So it could be very interesting. listen, we're going to leave it there, people. Over 600 of you here. Please do me a favor, hit the like button. We've only hit 157 likes. All you need to do is hit the like button. It's absolutely free. And subscribe. Once you've hit like and subscribe, your day is done. It's absolutely free as well, people. So please don't think that it does cost anything, because it really does not. So please make sure that you support by doing that. Please make sure you also support Manscaped as well by clicking in the pinned comments and getting the Beard Hedger for 20% off. All you got to do is click that link, go to Beard and Face, Beard Hedger, add it to your cart. 20% will come off for you to purchase it. We will be back later tonight at 8 p.m. It will be the Race for Europe show. There will be myself, LB, Errol, Billy, Deji, and Dan United. There should be Don as well, but he's unavailable tonight. And we're going to be talking about all of our Premier League predictions as we look to go towards the weekend. There's going to be a lot of debates on transfer news and what clubs still need to do. This one's going to get very fiery and heated and spicy, as it always does. So please set your reminders, hit that notification bell. 8 p.m. this evening, the Race for Europe show is back. And the rest of this week, in the evenings, you will be back with your normal panel debate shows that we brought to you for the last 2 years. And it will all be back. So please make sure you do me a favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you tonight at 8 p.m. Take care, people.
Yes, people, Manscaped is back. But this time, it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.